Okay, so you're gonna dig this nickname. Malachi in my pink is asking. Um, I've.
Sounds dirty.
It sounds like he's got a house of pink. Uh
Hmm.
he says I felt like Walter and Shamus.
Shamus.
Shamus? Shamwow? Like Walter and Seamus? I think he's maybe that's how you I don't think that's how you spell Seamus. Anyway, stole the show at the Clash. Of course, I wait for you to tell me what to think. What do you think is the question really? What do we think about the Walter and ShamWow match at the Clash? He kind of answered his own question there. But
I mean,
anyway,
I think he was right. think think they I think they stole the show in my opinion. They beat the shit out of
I'm
each other.
I'm just waiting for the next match, or just this Imperium versus Brawling Brutes. It's gonna turn into a great storyline, but you always hear on commentary saying such and such is, the most strongest guy in the roster. This guy is the most heaviest hitter, or whatever. They say that to almost everybody.
Pound for
But
pound.
realistically, Gunther and Sheamus are some of the hardest hitting dudes there in WWE. Realistically, they are top two, and for them at the time, I guess Gunther, his heel, Sheamus is heel. Kind of hard to do a heel versus heel, but in this case, it worked out really well. Sheamus got a standing ovation after, man, and it was a great match.
Yeah, I think that kind of was a face turn for Sheamus.
Oh, for sure.
An organic face turn.
yeah,
Which
it
doesn't
started.
happen.
Definitely started that.
I've always been a fan of Sheamus. He's only been in WWE for it's been 11 years now.
Only? That's a long time, no?
I mean,
He seems like he's been there
it is
forever.
a long time, but it feels like longer. No, 11, 12 years. It was 09, I think. Was it 09 or 2010 he won the title? No, it was 09.
Title, I think.
I think it was the end of 09.
Maybe.
Yeah. But, he's done a lot. He's definitely deserved it. He's earned it all. And coming to this point to where he's still making his career relevant, it's not easy for everybody to keep on making a career relevant as many times as someone like Sheamus. Keeping on doing like different things. He went from his debut to doing some other weird stuff that didn't work out, and then the bar,
Human
and
jar.
then what was he doing during COVID? He was almost acting like this barroom brawler guy.
Yeah. Which
Pretty
is
much.
still kind of what he was doing recently. It's just he turned into, hey, I have friends now.
Yeah, he's got Rich Holland and Butch, and this was probably one of his best matches in his career.
Don't forget the ever so wonderful United Nations or League of Nations, whatever the hell.
League of Nations, that was a huge flop. Oh my god. But no, this match between Sheamus and Gunther was probably one of his best matches.
Great.
Might not have been Gunther's best matches. I mean, it was a good match, but I want to put like when Pete Dunne took on Gunther and also Dragunov took on Gunther. Those were just some really good matches. But no, I'm definitely not disowning Sheamus and Gunther.
I would say it's, with the exception of a couple of the matches he had with Cesaro in that Best of Seven series. Yeah, without the exception of a couple of those, I would say this was probably Sheamus's best match.
And he got beat to death in this match.
Right, but it's the kind of style.
That fits him.
It's the style that fits him, and for it to be that style and it not just be him giving, but him taking it as well, is not exactly what we're used to seeing out of him in terms of that kind of match. We're used to him beating the shit out of people, not so much people beating the shit out of him.
Definitely.
And it just worked. It was definitely fun to watch. Definitely believable for sure.
That was so. That was a match where, like, once they start slapping each other, once they start chopping each other, I was like, yes. Like, I knew exactly where it was going. Once Gunther like laid one on him, I'm like, and they start swinging at each other. So here's the deal, man. I watch some of these younger wrestlers, and not that the Gunther, I still keep wanting to call him Walter. Not that Gunther is a problem, that these guys are old, but I watch these young wrestlers and they get in a fight, and then, like, it's like hockey, they grab each other's heads, and then they swing so fast that it just bothers me, because they're punching themselves like way too fast. It doesn't look good, and then they punch themselves way too many times. It just kills the whole thing for me. When I see that, I keep picturing like bitches. And this doesn't have to be women that I'm saying bitches,
No,
just bitches fighting.
Make it more impactful.
Less punches
compared to Caddy.
Yes. Like, I love, so these things would happen in the Attitude Era, and not everything was great in the Attitude Era. The thing you'd notice, though, is the guy, usually the baby, but not always, but most of the time the baby would get the upper hand pretty quickly in those, because if they just keep going, it just gets more ridiculous and more ridiculous the more it's done, the more punches. And now you juxtapose that with Walter or Gunther and Sheamus, and these guys are, they're hitting each other. So all of a sudden, like, Sheamus or Gunther just keeps bitch slapping. So, like, they're going back and forth, okay? They start going back and forth, but they're actually hitting each other. And you notice how they're not going fast, and they actually have to land these punches. So you made it look realistic, which it technically it was.
It was. You could tell by their chests they were hitting each other. And it gives the crowd a time to react to it and feel what's happening, instead of just being like, oh yeah, they're hitting each other over and over and over, moving on to the next move. It allows the crowd to embrace what's happening.
Yeah, and when I saw that, man, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna go a little bit down the Dragunov path, where they're gonna be smacking each other. I think what really solidified this match for me, well, there's a couple of things that solidified this match for me. I love I think in the beginning, when all the Emporium showed up with the what are they calling, the Brawling Brutes, whatever the fuck they call the Sheamus's faction, whatever. And I like the fact that they just stood there while the other guys brawled. They just stood there. That was fucking awesome. It's like these two dudes they mean fucking business. So to me, right. I was like, yes. And then the second thing that solidified it for me was that chop from the top rope, where Walter just chopped Sheamus off the top rope outside, out of the ring. I don't know if you guys remember that part, but he just chopped him, just boom, just
he did.
Fucking knocked, and you can see the sweat just explode off the chest, off the impact.
It was brutal. It was a brutal job.
People want to talk about how fake wrestling is, but when you step in the ring with guys like Gunther or Sheamus,
wrestling is not fake.
Tell me wrestling is fake after if you step in the ring with someone like fucking Sheamus or Gunther. Actually, no.
Bro, hold on. So, I can step into the ring with any of the wrestlers, and I will know it's not fake. But that doesn't mean that it looks good. But please go ahead. Sorry.
But on Friday Night SmackDown, what's his name now? It's not Marcel. What is it now?
Giovanni Vinci.
No, not the other one.
Oh, Marcel Barthel. Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah, Kaiser.
So Ludwig Kaiser took the 10 beats.
10?
Well, it wasn't 10. It was 25.
It was 30-something, bro.
Oh, it was
He kept going.
25.
He kept
The
going like
crowd
they
counted. But his chest was beat red.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like, bro, tell me wrestling is fake after you seen that shit.
Well, wrestling is
Where
definitely not
Sheamus
fake.
just went ape shit on him.
Oh God.
And it's like, dude, I was watching them. The commentators were like, holy shit, what the like, dude, Michael Cole was going crazy. He's like, oh my God. Like, everyone was fucking going crazy.
But
Sheamus has never did that move that long.
but let's be real. That's UK wrestling. You know, that's you don't get that kind of thing in normal US wrestling all that often.
No.
But that is absolutely common for the UK style, which all 6 men came up in that UK style. So
That's true.
they're used to being a lot more brutal and a lot more hard hitting.
I thought I agree with Malachi. Let me see. What was it? Malachi? Am I pink? Oh man, it definitely was. It stole the show.
Sure.
There's only one risk to this type of wrestling, is that you get to see, like, so for me, like, a big knock on wrestling, especially with the younger wrestlers. I understand it's a different style. I understand it's more of a lucha style, which lucha itself has its own style, which is different. You know, when you have something this realistic, where people are actually hurting each other, smacking each other for real, then the rest of wrestling that's on that card, it's always going to be a step back. You know, like, not always a step back. It's just slightly behind.
It all depends on the audience's ability to suspend
and disbelief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, a lot of us know that the things we're seeing are not 100% real.
Yeah.
But as wrestling fans, we look at it and say, "Man, that's great," even though we know it wasn't what it was meant to be.
And
I guess is the way.
yeah, and it's not like these like everyone else is gonna fucking start doing this, which
Yeah, same.
then it would kind of ruin it, actually.
Right. When you watch a Sheamus or Gunther match, you expect that.
Well, I expect that from
If you
Gunther.
yeah, but if you watch a Ricochet match, you expect him to do shit off the top rope.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do stuff, doesn't go flying around, you're kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I would love to see Ricochet. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's one of those, like, I didn't get what I paid for, because I paid to see Ricochet go flying. I paid to see Gunther chop somebody's chest in.
Yeah,
I paid to see Shawn Michaels tell somebody to suck it, whatever the case may be. You know,
that's the thing. That's what makes wrestling exciting, and it's you know, like, I think about this. Like, I think about, like, okay, so it's not necessarily that, you know, wrestling fans are stupid, which they're not. I think that's like, if you make gimmicks too simple, it's like, no, wrestling fucking fans, we know better. I just think that the risk that, which is probably good that it's doing, is that when you do watch somebody like Adam Cole, for instance, like Bebe, yeah, I can't, I don't know this dude personally. I'm sure he's a great guy. His wrestling I cannot watch, and I cannot watch because his punches, which are elbows. I mean, just he punches like a bitch, and I'll take that. I'll like, if but that's the thing. Like, if I ever saw Bebe, and he knows that I said this about him, he would punch me for real.
he'd probably kick your teeth in.
Yeah, well, there you go. And then I would come out and I would wobble and all that shit, and I would say, now, great, now do that in a fucking match.
But he was also brought up in the indie era where you don't hurt somebody. Do not do that. You know.
Yes.
Well, it's the difference in how they were.
Have to. You know, he does not have to. It's the knowledge. Like, for instance, like, you guys, I know you guys have been at least one fucking fight in your life.
Yeah, King
well,
Ryan.
I have. I have.
Yeah, I know you have. And so when you see two guys grab each other's heads and just start swinging, it's like it gets a pop. It does get a pop. But to me, like it instantly like just throws water on the heat. It looks so not even close to anything that would remotely hurt somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not necessarily that the style requires that. It's just that I can't watch Walter and Dragunov. I can't watch Walter and Sheamus and then go back to that and say that this in any sense, like it doesn't make sense to me. That's really my pet peeve with it. We could talk about super kicks and all that stuff, but what Walter and Sheamus put up, man, it was like two grown ass men beating on each other, and I tell you what, man, it's like I don't know. I feel like that's what people wanted to see. And can you do that? No, like all the time. If you do it, it's gonna bring it down. But when I watch that and then I put that next to, like this newer indie style, it's like, well, no, you don't have to hurt somebody to have a punch that looks like it actually means something.
Right. I have the curiosity, though, if that match was in the U.S., would they have been as brutal with each other?
I hope so.
I hope so too, but part of me thinks it was like, okay, we're in the UK where we came up with this style, and that's what these people are going to expect, and we have to deliver.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I think. I mean, we all watched some beatdowns where wrestlers went into business for themselves. Like the Acolytes beating on the
Public Enemy.
Public Enemy, yeah. Yeah, we watched that, like that kind of shit. Like we watched ECW. ECW, like, I mean, there was a lot of shit there that they did that.
So because you brought up ECW.
Oh, okay.
And just kind of circles back to the Adam Cole punches thing. RVD wasn't really good at throwing punches.
No, he wasn't, but he made up for it with everything else. But he didn't throw 8,000 of them either.
No. But he would do the grab your head to start throwing forearms.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't like
he didn't have a good punch.
But he could kick the hell out of people.
Well, there you go. Yeah, but RVD wouldn't just go and start just wailing on someone like 80 fucking times. I'm probably not exaggerating. Just like swinging like it's a cat fight.
Cat fight, puppies.
Yeah, listen, I don't have a problem with that style. Like, I understand the style. Like, what gets me is that it really takes me out of, like, hey, man, like, that's not, you're still in a fight. It's still a fight. It's still a fight. Like, I got smacked in my face a few times in my life. And I tell you what, man, it can stun your ass. Just one. You just sit there and you're like, whoa, and it's like, I can't sit there and watch somebody punch each other 80 times. So when I watch this match, I'm like excited, man. I was like, while watching this, I like my hands, like I start sweating. I start getting nervous for them. Because I'm like, these motherfuckers are going to take it. They're going to take it. But I know they're workers, all that stuff. But like now it's like, oh, fuck. Like, where's this going to go?
It just delivered all the way around.
It did.
Well, now that we're talking deep into this, we have more than one person opinion.
Please.
Right here. What do you guys rate that match? Like out of 5 stars? Or it could be more than 5 stars.
Are we gonna reference the fact that Uncle Dave gave it 5?
I would give it 5 stars.
I agree.
Well,
and not just from the brutality of it, but they managed to fight a brutal match and it feel like they were telling a story in it, and the crowd was in it 100% all the way through.
What was the story of that match?
We're
forget
badass and better than one another.
Yeah.
The story doesn't always have to be complicated.
But there will be a continued story though. They're gonna. I really hope they don't end their storyline because I know they had a 6-man tag match on SmackDown
the long term story of this is technically Sheamus has never won the Intercontinental title.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
That's ultimately the long term story of this. But and really, if he's gonna win it, then going through hell against someone like Gunther is a great way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. So even if you looked at the match without any story, like the story of the match itself, Gunther had an upper hand on Sheamus just about the whole time. So he was actually a lot more aggressive than Sheamus. Sheamus, on the other hand, did not get as many things in as Gunther did, and was on the receiving end most of the time. But Sheamus, during that match, like, he was already a man. To say that he became a man is really not saying a whole lot. But the amount of punishment he took made him into this tough son of a bitch, which Sheamus already is, but it just kind of brought it back to the surface. So it was like Gunther is a force to be reckoned with.
Right. I think it plays into the story of Gunther being a force and the intent of turning Sheamus face.
Yeah, and Sheamus being a tough son of a bitch.
To go through all of that and then still, like, at the end get up and walk out and all that kind of stuff, then that served its purpose of getting him over as a face again.
So yeah, for me, that would be an example of telling a story, and telling a story during a match. So like, even if they had no story whatsoever to build up to that match, they told a story in that match, which was it brought both guys up. It was beautiful, you know. It was beautiful. It really, like, Sheamus, he's always struggled with falling back and like, because Sheamus could be a fucking main event guy, you know, but he's always kind of struggled with the
guy.
Huh?
He is the main event guy. He's proven it.
He absolutely is, but he spent a lot of time in the mid card simply because if you're in WWE, there's going to be a lot of main event guys.
Oh, for sure.
That and each time they have decided to put him in the main event or decided to make him the guy, it's not been a great timing.
No, he wouldn't really get a run either.
Right.
It was just like he'd lose it shortly.
Was the last time that he won the title was during the Daniel Bryan peak?
No. He won the title. No, he cashed in the Money in the Bank on Roman.
Okay, so it was during the time when Roman was actually going to get over as a face the first time.
Yeah.
So bad timing. He was in the main event scene around the Daniel Bryan peak at one point. Bad timing. He was the world champion when Bryan was starting to go build up the first time when Bryan lost the title in 8 seconds. Bad timing.
And then they settled him with some gimmicks that didn't quite work either. I mean, Sheamus has been a trooper, and he's definitely a main event star. But like, think of it this way: he's been stuck in that mid card for a while, and now this match kind of brought up, like, all of a sudden he's like differentiating himself. Like his whole little group of fucking Irish lackeys doesn't, like, Sheamus now stands above it. In as far as I can tell, it's like, oh shit, like, this is a tough son of a bitch. And like you said, like, that's a heel faction, and they're moving towards,
It also, for me, makes me want to see Gunther in the main event scene sooner than later.
I absolutely want to see Walter.
Yes.
I want to see Walter. Like, I think Walter is like he just looks like a fighter. You know, he's not like necessarily built muscles. He's just not. I mean, he's definitely skinny.
Yeah, I mean, he's got more muscles now than he did, but he was kind of hefty.
Yeah, he was.
He to move over, and he put a lot of work to get in really good shape.
Oh, I mean, Gunther is so fun, but like, just the fact, like, when I was watching this with Big D, and we had some internet connection issues, and he couldn't watch he didn't watch the match, and I said the Emporium, and I was so excited I was so fucking excited. Like I spoiled that for him, but like when I saw the Emporium back, I hope they bring their music back and the entrance. I just love
So
that whole vibe.
they did on their entrance on SmackDown, I guess it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
They kind of started the music and did the logo on the screen, and then it was like 10 seconds or so, and they cut to the Gunther music.
Yeah. The
Just
Gunther
like,
music is not memorable or catchy in any way.
Well,
that
the
was
thing
something I would
is,
have changed. Was his theme?
Triple H is fixing what Vince did, but the thing is, like, he doesn't want to completely take away what Vince did because he doesn't want to like completely change everything to make it have no like. He doesn't want to just throw shit away, so he's
That and when
adding
you
in.
that and when you change things and then very quickly change things back,
Yeah, you can't.
it's kind of in a way admitting that you failed.
Yeah,
Which I mean, it's not him failing, but from the perspective of the casual fan, there's like the hell is going on here? Why is this changing from this to this so quickly?
They're
So
slowly
you kind of have to
undoing.
course correct, but not do a 90-degree turn.
Yeah, you don't have to land the plane just because you're going a little bit in a wrong direction.
Right. And it
Um,
started off well by giving people their names back.
yes.
But
Yes.
but Gunther actually did an interview saying he
He wants to be Gunther.
yeah, he wants to be Gunther, that he was happy with that name change. He felt like he had done all he could with that name, and this was a more serious name and a way for him to be even more brutal in a way.
It sounds. I mean, it's all right. Like I just remember him as Walter, and that's really. I need to get over it. I eventually will.
I'm forcing myself to say Gunther because I really want to say Walter.
It's like superstar, Like
I still call Braun Breaker Rex Steiner.
ah.
He was supposed to.
I still don't understand why they didn't call him Rick Steiner or whatever.
Right. I mean, especially
No?
if you keep referencing the fact that he's a Steiner.
But
I
you
feel
know
like
why these things happen, right? Like
It's all for the IP,
yeah.
which
Raymack.
Triple H overall doesn't care about. I mean, that's why he let all these guys come into NXT under their normal names.
I mean, it's like you know what that also open. So if these guys end up going to different companies and stuff, like they can use their own names and what they've built. It's not like WWE built all of it. It's like that they still built parts of them.
And you're not, and what I don't understand about it is like when somebody leaves the company, it's not like you have lost the rights to what they did inside your company.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna, Moxley goes to AEW. You're not gonna have the rights to his stuff in AEW anyways. So what did it matter if his name or what his name was in WWE? You're still gonna have the rights to everything he did in WWE.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, that's just sound business. It's like whatever merch or whatever you had intellectually with that specific entity, that's not yours. That's theirs. Like that's just business. I get that.
Right.
And I think it's cool that they can open up. Like I feel like with wrestlers' names for some reason, this is it doesn't really make any sense. But for some reason, in my mind, it connects. But they could potentially, open up things where they do something with other companies, like Mickey James. Like where
That was great, by the way.
I don't
That
like
was
to
a
call
great
it a forbidden
moment.
door, but because it just sounds sexual.
The forbidden back door.
Yeah, because like a forbidden door, it's like you can't go in there except on holidays. But Ryan's I mean, shit. I'm so sorry, Rymack. Rymack's already opened up a backdoor challenge. But Rymack, what do you think? Like, I would give it 4 stars just because like I reserve 5 for something that'll really floor
What's just
me.
understandable? What's understandable? I mean, you can't base everyone's got different opinions, but but no BS mention. It's like Dave Meltzer, man, 5-starred it, and I don't agree on a lot of his ratings, but I agree on this time around because of how the match was just over, man. When you're performing a match. Two guys are going out there. Realistically, they're trying to put on the best match every single time they go out there. They want to make the fans happy. So the fans were definitely enjoying it, especially in the UK.
Oh
Which,
yeah.
by the way, I think the UK has some of the best fans in the world. I don't care wherever you go to, the UK fans are just insane.
Well, I mean, if this
I
is
don't know.
how
It
they
might be
wrestle,
something.
bro.
But, but when you're going out there, man, you're out there telling a story. Yeah, I believe like just them out there alone in that match, they told a story, and it did get my 5-star approval. I would like to see one more match between those two. Maybe not anytime soon because I'm not sure where their storyline's going. But maybe, hopefully, down the road we see maybe WrestleMania, Gunther and Sheamus one more time, and maybe like a street fight or something where they can be a little bit more hardcore type. Because we know Sheamus has done both. He can do the straight up 1-on-1 match. He can do the hardcore or like the street fights and stuff. So it would be very interesting to see those two in a potential like no holds bar match or something.
With that said, the next pay-per-view is Extreme Rules.
Yeah, see, I would like to see. Well, the thing is,
Should
it
be
took away
extreme no
from them.
rules.
They already had a 6-man tag match on SmackDown, but it would have made a lot more sense and more fun for them just to having a 6-man tag match at Extreme Rules and like a 3-on-3 street fight or something, man. Like anything goes, no falls kind of anywhere type ordeal. But no, I respect your rating on the match, and I'm not gonna sit here and call you out. Everyone has their own opinion. I mean, we all enjoyed the match.
You can call me out, man. It'd be funny. It'd be more fun, but we still agree.
It'll get there.
No, man, it was definitely you gave it a fair rating. I mean, as long as you didn't rate it under 4, I would have definitely questioned that. Definitely would have questioned it.
Oh, dude, I would have given it 5, but like I realized that when we grade our backyard wrestling stuff, I'm always throwing all the five toilet paper rolls.
5 toilet paper rolls.
Fuck yeah, I'm just throwing that everywhere, and then I find myself like I just don't know how to judge because once you start going 5 stars in a lot of matches, it just your 4 and 3-star matches really like it doesn't make sense. So when it comes to like professional wrestling, I tend to like 5 stars is reserved for like something that like just like what like I would say like maybe Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle, one of those matches I might go for WrestleMania 20. That was like a I don't know. I still don't know if I'd give it 5 stars, It would be like 4.5 or some shit. But that would be like closer to like, oh fuck, well these guys didn't kill each other, but they just had a fantastic match,
I think it's all about how it makes you feel.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was by far for me the best match of the evening.
Yep.
And yeah, and Paige she says too. She agrees with that, even though she didn't even watch it.
She's a smart lady.
Yeah, she just knows.
Well,
she just agrees with everything that I say.
That's not a good thing. Don't do that, Paige.
He said, "Don't do that." No BS.
To your little toilet paper thing. One of these days I want your approval because we're gonna sit down and watch them.
Oh
Some
yeah,
of my backyard wrestling
review Ryan's backyard matches.
We gotta review this one of these days, man. We're gonna do it.
Oh gosh.
Raymack, we're gonna do it.
Oh, I see.
I want to get your
wrestling.
Approval. Definitely gonna get your approval on some of this.
Oh, dude.
One of these days.
Here's the deal, man. I'm pretty specific to what I like. When it comes to backyard, I just have so much more love for backyard wrestling than I do for professional wrestling. Even though like professional wrestling, like I'm just a huge fan of it, just in general. But backyard wrestling to me is like people who generally are not getting paid. Although it's nice when you do get paid, because then you kind of feel dirty. But I at least I did. But I only got paid once, and that was because somebody just offered free money because they just thought we did a great job. That's it. But I am so much more like accepting of people who are there because they love it to wrestle, and sort of professional wrestlers. But they have stories, they have things they have to fit in, and sometimes it doesn't fit, and you can tell that they're not liking it. And when you're at that height of a professional level, it's like it's like fabric that wrinkles that you have to fucking press it perfectly. You have to iron it perfectly, otherwise every single wrinkle will show. And in backyard wrestling, dude, it's like it's like sweatpants. You can put them on and just go. Does that even make sense? I don't know what the fuck I just said. I have no idea what I just said.
Only you know what it.
That's it.
Only you know.
Only you can stop forest fires.
Yep. I'm gonna stop the tangent here and
Please,
get us back on
please.
so we can wrap this segment.
Yes, please stop the tangent. I just took off, but don't wait for my approval, Raymack. I love you, man, but don't wait for my approval. You just do it for you. But I'm sure, from what I've seen, I'm sure, like, you already did a great spear. I give you 5 fucking Dave Meltzer stars for the spear alone. But please.
I'd rather have 5 toilet paper rolls at least as usual.
It is, but this is 2-ply. 2-ply.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the shit you can't find on store shelves anymore. That's the.
So yes, we all agreed to answer Malachi and my Pink's question. The match of the night. 2 5-star ratings, 1 4-star rating. Very good.
Yeah, and now you can think that because he has. It's like he waits for us. Yeah.
Stick that in your Pink.
That's that's a perfect way to end that. All right. Well, check us out on Jawbers.com. We're at the Jawbers on social media, and right now we just got Raymack's Wrestling, which is what's the name of your channel?
Looks like it's Raymack Wrestling.
Raymack Wrestling. Okay. Check him out at Raymack. That is RYMACK Wrestling. Check out his backyard wrestling channel. And he says, I backyard wrestle strictly for the entertainment. That's great. Is that your entertainment or our entertainment?
Your entertainment.
Oh, it's not for, all the above, man. Come on.
I would have just been like, yes.
Yes.
I'm an entertainer.
You are.
I'm an entertainer.
You absolutely are, brother. You absolutely are. And check him out on Ryan Gaming TD. And that's really on all. Twitch, Instagram. All right. I don't know. No BS. You got anything you're plugging to?
No, I'm good.
Okay, see? No BS. He's not in for the entertainment.
I'm an advocate.
Yeah, he's an advocate. He's our Paul Heyman. All right. We're out.